Hi and welcome. My name's Tolan and I'm the co-founder of Productivity Meet. In this video, we're going to look at some of the specific design features within the table formatting and how to change those design features to most suit your needs. So join us in this video and let's get started. If you want to follow along, go ahead and download exercise file 07.03. You can find this file or a link to this file in the description section of this video. Okay, so let's get started. In the last video, we went ahead and looked at the idea of creating a table. Now, if we wanted to create a table, we could do this by coming to Format as Table, which would allow us to select the individual table style, or we can come into Insert and go to Table. That too would work, or if I were to do Control Z, we can use the keyboard shortcut Control T. So any of those options work, and then once you've selected one of those individual options, your range of cells will be converted to a table. We can then click here and double click in order to make sure that the individual labels have enough space. And if you want to go in and change the style options, as we discussed in the last video, you could come in here. But let's focus on the table styles. So if you wanted to come into this individual item, you would essentially have three major groups. So you'd have light, medium, and dark. And these individual colors and the combinations thereof will depend heavily on a couple of things. So the first would be, I believe it would be under page layout. So the colors that you have in the design tab here depend on the page layout and the colors that you have selected for your entire Excel worksheet. So if you were to come to the page layout tab and then colors, changing the colors would perhaps change the colors for the entire Excel workbook, the entire Excel file that you're working in. So you could say change it to something like this. Let's maybe do this yellow color. Then when we go back to the design tab, you'll notice that these are kind of all yellows and oranges, maybe some purple pinkish ones. So you might want to go back and change it back to Office. You can also change the themes. So this would change essentially the size and perhaps the font. This would do so for the entire workbook. So that's something you might want to consider. Maybe I like organic. Then the last thing you might want to consider is changing the font. So you can change the individual fonts, and that too would work. However, when we were to enter new information into a different cell, it would have those same font choices and those same colors that we went with in the earlier part of the video. So I'm going to hit Control Z to undo all of those changes. But if you went to the table styles and you didn't like any of these styles, you didn't like the medium, you didn't like the dark, you could actually come and create a new table style. If you create a new table style, you could then define how each of these individual elements work. You would select an element and then you go to Format. That's beyond me, kind of what I generally do. But you can also right click and then you can say set as default, or you can duplicate and then modify that individual cell or table formatting style. So generally, I stick with what Microsoft has to offer, but say that you were working on a spreadsheet or a workbook and you needed to use custom colors or company logo. The way that you could achieve that is by kind of going in to the page layout and changing the colors so that they meet your standards, and then also going into the design tab and picking one of the table styles. Now, in the next video, we'll go ahead and we'll look at the idea of filtering and how to use the filter and search function within a table. So join us for that in the next video, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.